All right, so I went ahead and created a new project called interface class. All right, so it's essentially the same as the animal class, but I've changed a few things, of course, for clarity. So I have an animal class. It's very similar to what we had before, except I didn't put any behaviors yet. Okay, and I have the interface test, which is just the main entry point here. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and create another class here. Let's call this, I'm going to call this dog. That's fine. Okay, so as we know, let's go ahead and just real quick say extends animal. Okay, and we can go ahead and say, just to see if things are actually working, let's go to interface here. Let's go ahead and create a dog. My dog is equal new dog. And here I can say my dog dot set name, right? I can set a name to Pyro. I guess that's a good name. And let's get system this out, that out. Println, can say my dog dot get name. If you run this, we should say Pyro there. Perfect. So everything is working. There's nothing new here. Okay, because a dog is a very concrete type of animal. But even before that, on top of that, a dog is a canine, right? So a canine, in a sense, could be another class that we can create, which dog will inherit from. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a canine class. Canine. Let's give it some properties. Perhaps let's say private string type teeth. And here let's go ahead and actually refactor. I think that's where it is. And we are going to source. And we are going to generate getters and setters, type of teeth, right? So getters and setters, there we go. Okay, it's very simple here. Again, we just get type teeth, and we have here set type teeth. Okay, getters and setters, nothing big deal here. So now if we go back here to our dog, instead of extending directly animal, we can just say extends canine. And inside of our canine, we can go ahead and say extends animal. All right, so what's happening here? So what are we doing? Let's go back to the main interface here. So what we have here, graphically speaking, we have animal at the top. And then we have what? We have canine. Right, so that means canine inherits from animal, and then here we have the actual dog. Okay, so that's more organized. It's more intuitive, right? Because a dog inherits from canine, right? Although a dog is an animal, but a dog for most is closer to canine, and then canine, of course, is inheriting from animal. That makes sense. That's the hierarchy. So now we're going to talk about interfaces, right? We talk about abstract classes and methods. Now we're going to talk about interface. So you will think, well, why do I need an interface? So interfaces will allow us to provide common functionality to unrelated classes because, as we spoke earlier, Java does not allow multiple inheritance. For instance, if you look at canine, a dog is a canine, but also so is a wolf, right? But a wolf is not a pet. But it has a lot of similar characteristics and behavior as a canine because they're all the same as a dog. But those two animals, a dog and a wolf, they have a lot of similar characteristics, but they're not both a pet. So what we could do is we could create a different class which would take care of that, right? With all functionalities for pets that are common for pets, but not common for wolf, which still is a canine. Let's go ahead and create a pet class. We're going to call this pet. Now, this pet class, we are going to make it not just a general class. This pet class is going to be used as a hub for all these functionalities, not implemented functionalities, which means we have to make this an interface. Okay, So how do we make this an interface? Well, we said simply we go ahead and say interface like that. Now this class here is not just a general class, it's an interface, which means inside of here we'll have methods that are all abstract. Now, why would they be abstract? Because as we said earlier, abstract methods have no body, which means these have to be implemented at the inheritance level, which means all of the methods that we create here will have to be implemented inside of classes that are implementing it. Okay, so now here what we can go ahead and, for instance, say we have to start with abstract void, say be friendly. That's a characteristic of a pet, isn't it? Okay, notice this has no body. Okay, and next one we can say abstract void play. Right, that's it. A very boring class, but a very important one. This class is an interface. Number one, all it does, it has abstract methods, which means these methods need to be implemented when they are inside of actually a class that can be instantiated, that is concrete. This solves that problem that we had before, that we said Java doesn't allow multiple inheritance, because now look what we can do. We can go into dog. It says extends canine, which is fine, which we know canine extends animal, right? But check this out. Instead, we can also say implements pet. We're saying dog extends all of the stuff from the canine, which canine gets stuff from animal, but also implements pet. Notice we have a problem now. It says here we have an error. Before I even hover over it, I would like you to think, why do we have that error? What does that mean? Go back to what we said about pet having abstract methods. Exactly. We have to implement it. Because we said here, well, if it implements pet has all of these abstract methods that must have to be implemented in order for this to work, because that's a contract, then we have to implement them. So if you click here, it said add unimplemented methods, enter, and look at that. All of a sudden, we have override be friendly, override play, which means now I have a lot of flexibility. I can say, well, I know this is a dog, so I can system.out, that print, I can say friendly dog, something like that, okay? Can do the same here. Playful dog. So now if I save this, now if I go to the interface here and say my dog dot, there we go, we have all those methods. Be friendly, say my dog dot play, and there we go. If we run this, you will see it's going to say friendly dog, playful dog. So now this pet interface here, it's a very independent class that anybody, literally anybody, can implement it. Like if I wanted to go in and create a cat, if I want to go ahead and create anything I want, literally anything I want, I can always implement this. And why is it okay? Well, because it's just a blank, unimplemented, an idea of a concept of a class. So there's no implementation inside of it, the class, because it's an interface, which means allows us to say, okay, I create my class X, but I want this also to have this functionality. Well, I want it to be a pet. Now I can use this class for anything I want because it's an interface, which means it has to have these abstract methods, which also means they have to be implemented at the class level, okay, as we see here. So this concept here, the reason why we're talking about this, and I'm taking a little bit of time to talk about this, and I want you to really start understanding this, always come up as we progress in our studies, our Java studies, especially implementing. You will notice, you will see a lot of abstract classes or interfaces being implemented constantly. Mainly is because in Java, we can't extend more than one class. We can't say dog extends canine, extends pet. But we can say dog extends canine, implements pet, implements X class, implements Y class, implements D class, implements 120 classes. No problem. Are you starting to see the magic behind the curtain here? Look over what we just talked about, okay? And if you have any questions, this is very important. If you have any questions, just ask questions and I'll try my best to answer them. But I also want you to read more about implementing classes and interfaces and so forth. That's very important. Once you understand it, it's going to be so helpful as you start building more sophisticated applications in Java. Okay? All right, so I'll see you in the next video.